Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing good. Children, as you all are aware that we were doing chapter 5, that is acid, bases and salts. So children, we are going to do, since till yesterday we have finished with the acid part, that what are the different properties, what taste of acid is, and how will you don't need to taste each acidic material. You have to use blue litmus paper to test whether it is acidic or not. Then we have different properties we have done. Then what are the different uses? Since acidic things are not quite dangerous in the nature, it can cause harm also, but still these acids are useful to us. How they are useful? Since they were used as natural preservative when we are making pickles, when we are making jam, when we are making other squashes also. So they were used as preservative in imli, that is tamarind, which we were using in various food items, that is tartaric acid, which is contained in that tamarind. Then we were having many citrus fruit in which we will be having citric acid. In all the citrus food we will be having citric acid. So all these acids, even in our stomach also we will be getting hydrochloric acid, which help us to digest the food in stomach. So many thing is there, many disadvantage of acids are also there, but along with that we have many uses also. Now children, will come to a second part of this chapter, that is bases. Now acid we have finished, and I want that you are going to learn some of the chemical formula of acids, like sulfuric acid, which I have written yesterday, H2SO4, then nitric acid, that is HNO3, and hydrochloric acid, HCl. So you are going to remember only these three acids with its chemical formula. Now what is chemical formula? How do we represent using elements, symbols of element? That might be you have not done. So we'll come to that later on. Now we'll start bases. Now first of all, what will be the definition of bases? Acids are acidic in nature, so as bases are basic in nature. Now how will you judge? Like if in acids we have taken that, we have generalized that the things which are sour in taste, they are acids in nature. So the things which are basic in nature, or they are considered as base, if they are, what kind of a taste they have? If they have bitter taste, as well as if you will touch that substance, or if you will touch that salt, or if you touch that element, you will get a soapy feeling. Soapy feeling also you will be getting. So it means the washing soda which we were using at a home, detergent, that washing detergent which we are using at our home, that is base? Yes, that is base. Since the feeling, when you will touch it, you will get a feeling of soapy feeling, you will be getting it. So that is, yes, that is an example of bases. So first of all, the things, the substance whose taste is bitter and have soapy feel when we touch, so these are known as base. So what you are going to write the definition here of base, that the substance that are bitter in taste, and produce a soapy feeling, is called is called or is known as base. Now here, as we have written in acids also that the substance that are sour in taste, it means, and that the substance that are bitter in taste, it means you have to taste each substance that whether the substance is bitter or not. If that substance is bitter, then we consider it as base. No, not like that. As we have that indicator in case of acids also, acidic things also, we have blue litmus paper. Similarly, in this we have red litmus paper. Red litmus paper. As I told you earlier also that litmus paper is made from lichen skin. Fine. Lichen is a microorganism and the skin of that lichen is used to make this. Now here to find it out whether the nature of particular thing is basic or not, we are going to use red litmus paper. What we are going to use it? We are going to use red litmus paper, and when we pour few drops of that basic or bases on it, which is dissolved in water or some kind of a solution you will be having, so that red litmus paper turns into blue. That red litmus paper turns into blue, and when the color turns into blue, it shows that particular material which you have put it on that red litmus paper is basic in nature, and that will be considered as base. So first of all, the definition of base: the substance that are bitter in taste and produce a soapy feeling is called base. The substance that are bitter in taste and produce a soapy feeling is called base. That is very important. Fine. That the substance has bitter in taste, that particular material is bitter in taste, as well as it will give a soapy feeling. So by whatever all things like a detergent which we are using, soap, then your Vim liquid also which we were using in everyday life, hand wash also, these all are the example of bases. So it means we are not using base in our kitchen. Yes, it is not there that we are not using. Baking powder, washing soda. Baking powder is an example. If you will touch that baking powder with a mixture of water, you will find it out that it gives a soapy feeling. It is a sticky soapy feeling it will give. So that baking powder is an example of that is your base. Now children, we will find it out some of the chemical formula of these bases also, like sodium hydroxide NaOH and potassium hydroxide KOH. So these chemical formula we are going to discuss later. First we will discuss properties of base. So it's very important. First of all, definition you all will do it, then we'll come to properties of bases. So two property I have already written above, and one more I have told you. Two properties I have written, that they are bitter in taste and they have soapy feeling. Fine. And one more property which I have told you, that they turn red litmus paper blue. So two properties I have already told you, that number one, that is bases are bitter in taste. Bases are bitter in taste and have soapy feeling. So if you want that, you can write all these things, whatever all I am writing it on the board. Bases, the definition of bases, after that properties of properties of bases. That first property, which is very important, that bases are bitter in taste, and you don't need to taste it. You have red litmus paper to indicate that this thing is a base. Fine, that will become our second property. Bases are bitter in taste and have soapy feeling, or have soapy when touched. Fine, so that will be your first property. Now basis turns red litmus paper blue. Fine, that will be your second property. Now basis turns, second property is basis turns red litmus paper blue. So that is again second property, which is very important, that basis turns red litmus paper. So for testing base, we are going to take red litmus paper. Remember this, red litmus paper. And for testing acidic material, we were taking blue litmus paper. So this red litmus paper turns into blue if that particular material is base. If does not turns into blue, then that particular material is not base. So now we'll come to next property. I hope now you all have written this definition. So I'll erase this definition and then we will start with the properties. So we'll write it down, all the properties together, and I'll complete with the explanation. Now we'll come to next, that is the third property. So two properties we have done. Till now we have done two properties. The first property is that bases are bitter in taste and have soapy when it touched. And the second property is basis turns red litmus paper blue. So these two properties are very important. Let's come to our third property, which is a third property. Now the third property is bases are corrosive in nature and cause burn injury to skins. So bases are, now this corrosive we have done in acids also. In acids also we have done that acids are corrosive in nature. Similarly, bases are corrosive in nature. They are also corrosive in nature. How they are corrosive in nature? Since if you will kept any base, now here I am going to take a general example. If you will dip a particular cloth in the detergent, how it is corrosive in nature? Bases are corrosive in nature. Now what do you mean by corrosive? Corrosive means some kind of a chemical reaction which causes discoloration and destruction. That can be teared also, that can be got destructed also. They have discoloration also will be there. Discoloration means their color will be removed. So bases are corrosive in nature and cause burn injury, and causes burn injury to skin. Many of times you have heard from different people that this soap doesn't suits to my body. Or my skin get reacted when I has used this soap, or when I have used that material. Fine. Actually what happened, now here I am going to take corrosive example, a journal example. If you take a cloth, fine, take a cloth and dipped in water in which you have mixed with detergent. Dipped in that water for a longer time. For 1 day, for 2 days, you just leave that cloth in that water. What will happen? The cloth will lose its color. Discoloration will happen. discoloration will happen. Now discoloration is again a part of corrosiveness. It happens with the utensils also. If you will dip a particular utensil, a metal utensil, in that detergent soap for a longer time, that will got corrosive. Discoloration will also happen, and that can be, destruction will also be there. Destruction means that can be their material, their metal can be that can be corroded. So now and causes burn injury to skin. Burn injury means if you are going to use harsh bases, harsh means concentrated bases, you are going to use it, they can cause injury to skin. Why? Since skin is the most sensitive organ in our body. Yes, skin is the most sensitive organ in our body. So it may cause burn also. So that is your third property. Now we'll come to fourth property. Bases reacts with acids to form salts, such which is a neutral substance. Now the reaction involved is a neutralization reaction. For about this neutralization, we are going to talk about it later. Neutralization, again an important topic. Number 4, we'll write bases reacts with acids, to form salts, to form salt which is neutral, Neutral means they are that the salt which we obtained after combining a base with an acid. Fine. If a base reacts with acid, then a salt is formed. Different types of salt is formed. If calcium hydroxide is reacting with HCl or hydrochloric acid, then in that case we will be getting calcium salt, we will be getting. If sodium hydroxide is going to react with that particular sulfuric acid, then we will be getting that particular kind of a salt, NaCl we will be getting. So whatever salt we are getting, that salt which is neutral, that salt is not reacting with anything. Like whatever salt you will be getting, that salt is quite neutral. That salt is not going to react with the container in which that is kept. That salt is not going to react with that particular in a test tube also where that particular salt is formed. So acids react with base, then salts are formed which is neutral. These salts are neutral. Since we are getting sodium chloride also, we were using magnesium chloride also, we were using calcium chloride also, and all these salts we are getting by these reaction only. When acids react with base, then these salts will be formed. Now the reaction involved is called neutralization reaction. Since the output of this reaction, which is a salt which is neutral, this salt is not going to react further. That's why this reaction is known as neutralization reaction, and that we are going to discuss further. We are going to write the definition of this neutralization reaction also. So here in the properties of base, you have to remember only this much, that bases reacts with acids to form salt which is neutral. Now we'll come to next, that bases are described by the presence of hydroxyl group. Now this is a little bit over to you standard, that hydroxyl group means that in bases you will find it out OH. In bases you will find it out OH is added at the end of that base. Fine. So whatever formula, chemical formula will be there, in that formula you will find it out OH. Fine. So that if you do not want to remember, so apart from that I am going to write another property which you can write it down, that bases which are soluble in water, they are known as alkali. Now, or alkali. Bases which are soluble in water, soluble in water is called alkali. Now we'll understand what is alkali. Alkali we will understand that bases which are soluble in water. Fine. That is alkalis for. Now alkalis are what? That when we dissolve bases in water, fine, the complete solution which is formed, that is having the property of alkali. That solution is known as alkali. That solution is known as alkali. Like mango mixed with a milk, then the complete thing which is formed, that is known as mango shake. It is not known as mango, it is not known as milk. That complete process, after completion of process, the output or that substance which you will be getting, that is mango shake. So that only here, that bases which are soluble in water is called alkali. Alkali is what? That is, alkali is the complete solution in which water and bases both are mixed. So these are some of the properties of base. Let's revise what is base and properties of base. Very important. Then we'll come to uses. First of all, we have done base. Base is what? Base, the substance which is bitter in taste and produce soapy feeling, is called base. Then properties of base we required it. Now what are the properties? Like bases are bitter in taste and have soapy feeling when it is touched. Second is bases are bases turns red litmus paper into blue. It shows the presence of base in that. Number 3, now bases are corrosive in nature and causes burn injury to skin. They are corrosive in nature and they cause burn injury also. Corrosive means they can harm that discoloration or destruction to that metal as well as to the cloth also. Even if we dipped our cloth for a whole night in the water in which detergent is mixed, our color of that cloth will be faded. Now we'll come to 4th. Bases reacts with acid to get salt, and which is neutral. These salts does not react anymore, and that salt is an example of neutral substance. Now number 5 is bases which are soluble in water is called alkali. Now each base is not soluble in water, that we will discuss further. Now we'll come to uses of base. These properties we have seen. What are the properties? It means based on the properties, might be there are some uses of base. That we have seen that base gives us soapy feeling. Base gives us soapy feeling, and when acids reacts with base, we will be getting salts. So there is some uses of bases. So now we'll do uses of bases. Let's start with that. What are the uses of bases? First of all, first basic use of base is that bases are extensively used in the laboratory and industries. Most of the bases were used in bases are used in laboratory and industries. Laboratory and industries. Most of the bases were used in laboratory and industries. Now we'll come to number 2. Now we will come to number 2. 2 is calcium hydroxide is used for whitewashing. Now it means bases are used for whitewashing, for coloring also, and it is also used to neutralize the acidity of soil also. So what you will write? Calcium hydroxide, which is a base. Calcium hydroxide, which is a base. Hydroxide is used for whitewashing. Used for whitewash also you can write whitewash. Now calcium hydroxide means this is a base. Formula if you want to remember, that is CaOH. Chemical formula is this, calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice. Now we'll come to next, like other, that is caustic soda, which is sodium hydroxide. Caustic soda, which is sodium hydroxide, that is used as what? Caustic soda, which is also known as sodium hydroxide, that is used for manufacturing bleaching powder, paper, soap, synthetic fibers, etc. So that also, that bases are used for making many fertilizers also. Bases are, or it is used, bases are used for manufacturing many fertilizer, for manufacturing many fertilizers, fine. So these bases are used for manufacturing many fertilizers, like ammonium nitrate. We can make ammonium hydroxide is used to make ammonium nitrate. So fertilizers only you can write. Now bases are used, bases, or that is, I'm talking about sodium hydroxide. Now sodium hydroxide, which is again a base, NaOH. Sodium hydroxide is what? NaOH. Sodium hydroxide is NaOH. Like here calcium hydroxide we have done, that is used for whitewash. Fine. Similarly we have sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH, which is used for making, for manufacturing bleaching powder, paper, soap, synthetic fiber. Fine. That also you will remember. So that also you will remember that sodium hydroxide, which is a base, hydroxide group, hydroxide, remember this, wherever hydroxide word you will be getting, hydroxide. Fine. That is, another one is hydroxide group, where you will be getting this word hydroxide. It means we were talking about base. Fine. And the formula of hydroxide is OH, which I have told you just now. That OH will be added with whatever, sodium, with calcium, or whatever. Here also you can see OH twice. So calcium, OH twice. Why this 2 is there? That you are going to study further in the senior classes. So OH group will be there for hydroxide, and wherever hydroxide word will be there, that is stands for base. Now bases are only used to make bleaching powder, to make synthetic fiber also, to make what else? That is soaps also, detergent also, that will be used. So children, what we have finished with that today we have finished with what is bases, what is the particular definition of base, then properties of base, then what are the uses of base, what are the different uses of base, and how do they react in the nature, and what will happen if a base reacts with an acid. So children, tomorrow we will start a topic with a differentiation between acids and base on the basis of these properties. We have already finished with the properties of acids also. We have finished with the properties of base also. So tomorrow we are going to start with the difference between acids and base. Difference between acids and base, how they react, and then we will do a quick exercise, a short exercise also, which will help you to understand that how much you do understand the concept of acids and base. After that we will start with indicators, which is again a very important topic, that is a very important topic, that is indicators. We'll start with that. So tomorrow the lesson, the chapter or the session begins with the differentiation or differentiate between acids and base. So today I'll finish my lecture here. That's all for today, children. Have a good day.